Hello, welcome to the Health In Show, an affiliate program of Homeopathy World Community. You've come to the right place to tune in and participate with your comments and questions. Love is the greatest healer of all, but sometimes, in order to change our emotions, we must take action in other spheres of our lives. We speak with experts in alternative and complementary health fields and hope you will benefit in some small or great way. Remember, you are wherever your thoughts are. Make sure your thoughts are where you want to be. I think we must be beginning the show. This is the Health In, July 28, 2014. Can you believe we're coming to the end of another month in this summer? And I want to thank Amnon of Nissan Communications as the producer of the show, always being there and staying calm in whatever the situation might be. And today we're supposed to have Dr. Deepak Sharma, who is the regular co-host and a dear, I call him my son, and he is in the center of India where there are monsoon rains which are hampering the connection, the internet connection. So he sent a PowerPoint which I will be able to read through, but I won't be able to elaborate greatly upon it unless he finds a way to send me a note that I can read. So the first slide, it says Dr. Deepak Sharma, Homeopathy and Hair Loss. And I know that in his clinic, he has created formulas for people to use for the hair, what they call hair falling or falling hair. I find it kind of fun, like jump out of the way because your hair is falling. And there are so many reasons that hair may come loose and fall out. We might go through a few of those reasons. I have a little short quote from Telly Savalas. If anyone does not know this celebration, this actor or celebrity, his signature look was totally bald head. And so I guess he found comic relief or comfort in knowing that we were all born bald. And he called everybody baby. And I guess as we age, we do lose hair. So I'm also going to begin with a prayer. And that is that God embraces all humanity and the world in kindness through his right hand. Each person grows each day through his kindnesses on earth as we are reflecting the image of God's hand. And if you think about it, most people are right-handed. Left hand's great because those are very powerful people too. And with our hands come our actions on the planet. As we think, speak, and act in kindness, so we bring light into the world. Our prayer for peace on earth comes through our hearts and minds united together. So in the time that comes when everyone on the planet has this vision, desire, intention for kindness toward others and kindness especially toward yourself, because maybe it's even harder to be kind to yourself than to others. And I think one of the things that we can do is get out of ourselves. And by being kind to another person, we can more easily be kind to ourselves. And that is my introduction to today's program. I'm going to continue to take a look at the chat and see who is with us as soon as I am able to open my my internet here. And I see that Dr. Bob, Dr. Kubushan, Kathy, and Amnon are with us today. Now, if we take a look at the PowerPoint, it looks like
we're on slide number 2.
Slide number 2. So slide number 2 is about hair. We will talk about scalp hairs. Do you know about the longest hair? It is 18 feet, 5.4 inches long on a female from China, and it comes from the Guinness World Record. And now, if you think about it, how tall is a normal man? 6 foot is, I don't know what is an average size. I usually think 5'10", but maybe today it's grown 6 feet. And some people are taller and some people are shorter. So that's 3 times the length of a man. That's incredible. It would probably be quite a bit to take care of. But what can we learn from this? That the hair keeps growing, just like the nails. And if you don't cut it, they will keep growing. And also, the hair and the nails and the lining of the intestine are some of the fastest growing of the cells in the body. So that's why we have to keep maintaining it. Let's go to slide number 3. Hairs are derived from invaginations of the uppermost layer of the skin called the epidermis, and on Homeopathy World Community, the announcement page is a diagram of the epidermal layer of the skin. A human head has about 100,000 hair follicles. Scalp hair grows at the rate of 1 centimeter per month, and 90% of the scalp hair will grow only once. So I'm interested in understanding what that means, that if you pull that hair out or if it falls out, then your hair begins to thin from the original 100,000 hair follicles, so that in different periods in your life, different life cycles, you will see your hair changing. About 50 to 60 hairs fall per day, and that is normal. Slide number 4. And I'm going to check. Okay. So slide number 4 is Laguna hair. Grow after 3 months of conception all over the body. So that's the first form of the hair that you have when...
Debbie, hold on. Dr. Sharma, are you with us?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Oh.
Yes, hello, Amnan. Hello, Debbie.
We're
Wonderful.
already... Oh,
sorry, the net was not working properly, but it is now fine.
You need to turn down your speaker or put headset.
Okay, it is fine now?
It's not when you're talking. We can hear ourselves coming back from you.
Okay.
Let's see.
Now it's fine?
Now I cannot hear. Okay. Good. Are you there?
Okay. Yes,
okay.
I'm here.
Okay. Debbie?
All right. We're on slide number 4. The types of hair. The Laguna hair, which is that fuzzy hair that when the baby is born, it's all over. So it's kind of like a monkey, but it's not going to stay on there all their life. Some people do have a row of hair along their spine, and that's usually, we look that up in the homeopathic remedy. It's an indication of a kind of miasm, that some people have more or less hair all over their body, male versus female locations on the body. And then the vellus hair. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes. So, and the next kind is a vellus hair. The vellus hair are the short hair of about 2 to 3 centimeter, and does not have the oil gland. These are the specialty of the vellus hair. This kind of hair does not have the hair glands, oil glands. And the next one is the terminal hairs. Terminal hairs are those hairs which are the long with the sebaceous gland, having the sweating glands usually on the head, usually on the arms and the genital area. So these are the three basic type of the hair, and we are just continuing with my lecture and into the scientific way and how we define the hairs. So and there is the some number of the hair. If we are talking about the number of hairs, then on the normal adult scalp, it about 1 lakh hair on the scalp, both in the male and female. And on the face, it about 600 hair per centimeter square in the both sex, and about 6 hairs per centimeter square on the rest of the body. These are the basic ratio in the adults of both male and female.
Okay.
Okay, we are yes.
So that's slide number 5.
Yes, slide number 5. Here I am trying to show some growing stage of the hair, and do you know Debbie, one hair is took about 1000 days to grow a single hair. That is the life of a pure mature hair, and it complete within the 3 phases. Number 1 in the ana phase, number 2 is the catagen phase, and number 3 is the telogen phase. These are the basic stages of the hair, in which it took about 1000 days to grow a single hair from the scalp.
Well, then how come we think that hair grows so quickly? This doesn't sound very quickly. It's, we have to continually cut our hair.
Yes, the growth show when the origin of the hair, not from the early stage. We are just starting with the beginning and the end of the hair. It may be the life of the hair, of the scalp hair in both male and female.
Oh, so that one follicle will produce a hair and it will last for 1,000 days?
Yes,
no,
yes,
it
definitely.
couldn't. Well, then what about the person who had hair that was 18 feet long? I mean, is that new hairs that person is having all the time?
No. Once the hair is growing from these and from past these three stages, then the hair is growing 1 centimeter in a month. That is a different thing. I am trying to saying that when the root is coming and the hair is coming out from the scalp,
okay,
that is about 2 to 6 years or 1000 days to grow.
Okay. So then once the root is there, it can keep growing a hair.
Yes.
I see. Okay, great. That makes sense to me now. And I don't know whether everybody else was feeling a little confused, but that was slide number 6.
Yes.
And yeah, slide number 6 shows you the illustration of that, which is showing the growth pattern of the hair from how it develops in the different stages until it's mature, and then it can keep growing the hair itself once the follicle is created there. Okay.
Yes.
So now what do we have coming up next?
Yes, on the slide number 7, we are trying to explain the alopecia, the commonest term which in defined as a loss of hair or the complete absence of the hair. This is the most common disease of the scalp hair, and it is due to number 1, the production failure. Productions means the hormone production failures or the follicle production failure, and it is mainly due to the failure to produce or continue to produce a normal hair follicle. That is the production failure. It cannot be corrected by the medicine. Number second, aberration of cycle. Aberration means the any abnormality in the growth cycle of the hair. So it can be defined as a production of normal hair shaft abnormality, or in the abnormality of the any phase, abnormality in the phase like anaphase stage or the in the catagen stage. So we can correct it with the medicine, or we can correct it with the hormone supplements, or we can correct it with the dietary supplements. And number three is the number three causes the destruction of the hair follicle or destruction of the skin in any accident or by the chemical or by any infection. So we can correct with the medicine. So in the first phase, the production failure, we cannot correct it easily because it may be a genetic defect.
That might be answering the question from Dr. Jaswant on the chat, who is asking about hereditary baldness. And in this case, the production is faulty and may not be able to be corrected.
Yes. If we not have the machinery to make the hair follicle, then how can it we can develop it? So we can transplant it, or we can just doing as a bald. Transplant it, or we can just doing as a bald.
We're getting a little sound back. Okay. So are there the other question here? We have Dr. Bob was asking in general, so why does hair fall out? I'm sure we're going to get that. Oh, some people are complaining that it is not fair if you have a problem with the production of the hair follicle. But remember, you can have a transplant if you have hair on other places of the body. If that takes, you might just be like Telly Savalas and love your bald head. That could be the answer for you. Okay, the next slide. We have alopecia.
Yes.
None scarring.
That is I was explaining in the slide number 7 that
Okay.
there is a two type of alopecia. Number one is a non-scarring. This is a reversible alopecia. It can be reversible by the diet management. It can be reversible by the medicines. It can be reversible by the oil application of the oils. But if the skin is not having the follicle since birth, or by just by the destruction, so we cannot grow the new hair follicle. So
And
these are the
what would be causing scarring?
it may be due to the chemical injury, it may be due to the accident, or it may be due to the severe use of the razors that can damage the hair follicle, or many fungal infection also destroy the hair follicle completely. So we cannot grow a new follicle with the medicines. Just remember.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so then that would be another thing for people to learn how to properly care for the hair, the skin, the follicle when they are shaving, or even chemical removal methods that are used. For, women use it on their underarm and their legs, and men are shaving very often. And I know that Gina Tyler on Facebook and the Homeopathy World Community has written me about the importance of long hair and keeping your vigor and your power and your immune system by not shaving or not cutting your hair. So that's another interesting take on it.
Because hair is a very important part, and it maintain our thermal regulation.
Mm-hmm.
So we just are not when we removing by the shaving, by hair falling by the shaving, so we are not removing the follicle. But when many women are doing the procedure in which the hair follicle is pulled out, that is a very bad thing. And in these women, they develop many diseases just because of thermal regulation.
They develop diseases?
Yes, yes, because the thermoregulatory system is all gone.
I
If your
see.
thermoregulatory system is not working properly, then you can get the hypothyroidism and you can get the hormonal disorders.
I see. Well, that's sounds like it's a very advanced and in-depth talk. Let's
Yes,
so you have here that one slide we're looking at the alopecia is hair loss, the technical term, and non-scarring and scarring. The scarring, we cannot help it, so we need to remember to take care of our skin. Okay, no, slide number 9.
slide number 9. Yes, here is I'm trying to explain the types of focal alopecia. These are the causes of focal alopecia is the production decline, as I said, and the production decline means the hormone imbalance or in the decline in the hormones. And these have the two types of alopecia. Number one is the androgenic alopecia. Number second is triangular alopecia. Number second cause is the abnormality of the cycle. I told about the phases of the hair follicle. So if there is an abnormality in the cycle, then it may cause the alopecia areata or the syphilitic alopecia. I will explain in the next slides. And the third cause is hair breakage. The hair breakage by any infection or any fungus or by any pull out. Many people are just pull out hair. It's I will try this condition also.
Okay,
On the
so
numbers,
that's just an outline for what we're going to go ahead with. And
yes,
I wanted to also make sure that we said that hair loss is can be a symptom of something greater than just the hair itself, looking good, wanting to look good, but it tells information about the internal body and the whole body, and that it's just one of the signs that can be used to help understand what is correct or incorrect in the function of the body and help to maybe diagnose a disease or a problem. So that is why it's important to take note of it when you find something changing in your body. And that was just an important piece of information I wanted to share.
yes, thank you. And on the next slide, number 10, I am trying to explain the androgenic alopecia. The androgenic alopecia is just the hormone related problem, and it may be a combination of hereditary hormones, and age causes progressive shrinking of terminal hair, converting it to the vellus hair. The long hair is converting into the short hair. That is a kind of alopecia, and it affects 50% male and the 40% females. It can be begin in the teenagers and chiefly at the vertex and the frontotemporal region. These are the basic I will show in the next slide with some pictures. And in these cases, 85% have the positive family history of the same type of alopecia, mostly found with the PCOS in women nowadays. Every woman with PCOS have the androgenic alopecia. That is the correct symptom. And on slide number 11, here is the type of androgenic male pattern baldness and the androgenic female pattern baldness. You can see in the first picture the typical male pattern baldness, and in the number second it's maybe the genetic or the male pattern baldness just due to the lack of the hormones. And like that in the females, these in the lower side, these three types of the female pattern baldness on the slide number 11.
So you mentioned the hormones as an important part of this, especially the
Yes,
thyroid gland. And so I understand women can improve with thyroid supplementation. What about men? Can their hair also improve if it's due to a hormone problem?
yes, definitely. And I want to answer Dr. I think Dr. Jaswant is asking about the what is the homeopathic medicine for hereditary baldness. So we are just explaining after this after in the later section of the show. So these are the androgenic hormone, androgenic related pattern, male pattern baldness and the female pattern baldness. And on the slide number 12, I am trying to show the alopecia areata. Alopecia areata is just a infective type of hair loss in the rounds or in the oval shape, and it can be sudden loss of hair in round or irregular phase, or it may be in the patches, may occur on the scalp or anywhere else on the body. You can show in the picture the number in the picture number 1, it may be alopecia areata, number 2 in the females, and number picture number 3 is in the beard. So it may be a kind of infection, it may be due to the fungal infection, it may be due to uh,
Can it be stress? Can
hello,
stress induce? Maybe we lost his sound. He's
hello,
not answering. Are you there? Can it be
yes.
due to stress induced?
Not this type of alopecia is not stress induced. It may be induced by with the uh, infection. Alopecia totalis or androgenic alopecia is due to the stress.
Okay. Slide number 13.
Yes. On the slide number 13, the other types of alopecia is alopecia totalis, in which the total loss of scalp hair. Alopecia universalis, the loss of entire body hair including scalp hair. Ophiasis is the loss of hair confluent along the temporal and occipital scalp. And number 4 is the shishio. This is the loss of hair of entire scalp except temporal and occipital area. Slide number 14, we are trying to see the postpartum alopecia. This is a temporary alopecia and will recover within 1 year. So this is after the pregnancy, and many women facing this problem, and when they are coming for the treatment, we are just counseling him and just give maximum time the medicine by the symptom, and the postpartum alopecia recover itself within a year. On slide number
This is very,
15,
very common.
yes,
The
this is very common.
postpartum alopecia is very, very common simply because in the very drastic changes in the hormone production.
Yes, and the next one is the uh, trichtillomania. This is a condition in which the patient is just plucking or breaking hair from the scalp or the eyelashes, or resulting usually localized or widespread area of alopecia contain hair of varying length. Mostly girls under the age of 10 years having this type of symptom. So this can be truly treated by the homeopathy. It
So
can
this
be due
is
to the disturbed. It can be due to with the disturbed mother and child relationship. This is very common psychiatric problem.
mostly in girls, do you say? Yes, mostly in
Yes,
girls, but
yes,
it
mostly in the
doesn't have
girls.
to be only age
Yes,
10. It can
mostly in
be
the girls.
older.
Yes, it
And
can be older. It
yes.
can be older.
And is it only they are plucking the hair from their
Yes, only
scalp
they
and their
plucking.
face, or what
Yes,
about
they
their
they
arms or any other place?
no, they do not harm any other part of the body. Just plucking out the hair.
Okay. And there are homeopathic remedies even for this?
Yes, yes, definitely chamomile is there. Hippo sulf is there.
Okay. And we have some more
Yes,
images on slide 16.
yes. We have slide number 16, and this is the alopecia syphilitica. This is a secondary infection of the syphilis. It's a typical appearance on the occipital scalp, and maximum it is started with the occipital and just go to the frontal side. eyebrows, or any other body part may involve, but it start maximum from the occipital lesion.
From the back part of the head.
Yes, from the back part of the head.
Uh-huh.
And on the slide number 17, what is the emotional impact of the baldness? So this is a very common thing, that hair loss is very common all over the world, and the recent study showed that the compared to men who had hair, bald men were perceived as having a number of characteristics that are less physically attractive in both sexes, and less assertive, less successful, less personally likely, or the older by about 5 years. These are the studies. The person is about older about 5 years if she's bad. We are not talking about them now.
Right. So as you lose hair, you appear physically to look older.
Yes.
It's interesting. Do you think that because people say that that's how they perceive persons who have less hair or who are balding, what does that do to the person, their own self-image? I seem to have lost connection.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Yeah. Does he, Dr. Sharma, can you hear me?
He
Maybe
should be able to hear you.
Okay. So it looks like there has been a lot of studies determining self-image or how other people feel about whether you do or do not have hair. And it's the same thing that they do probably for people who are obese. And they do studies whether a person is likable, friendly, funny. You have different emotional responses to individuals based on how they look. If they look similar to you, you have a familiarity with them, and you're probably more likely to immediately have a connection. So when you see someone who is bald, maybe you have a particular vision in your mind of the type of person that they are. We did talk about Telly Savalas, and today I think going off on a little tangent, it's people today are bald for so many reasons, and one of them I would say is chemotherapy, that you lose your hair for this. And in this case, the appearance is hiding yourself or being brave and standing out and recognizing that so many millions of people are bald for many different reasons. And maybe an element of even compassion can come in. Okay, you can hear me now? Maybe Dr. Sharma will have to log off and get back on because I'm not getting a connection to him. So have Amnon?
Yes.
Are we not able to get these slides up again?
Yeah. But
okay,
but the thing is
I'm not seeing
his connection is no good.
Okay, I'm refreshing my page.
It's not you. It's okay.
I'm refreshing my page because I don't have anything up on the visual. And it seems to be having a problem. I don't know if you see anything. Okay.
I do.
Now
Yeah.
Okay. I just got it. Okay. Emotional impact of baldness. Oh, so he actually has the slide talking about exactly what I'm saying, that men with severe hair loss have a negative social and emotional effects, more preoccupation with baldness, and again, I'm losing the slide, more, and make an effort to conceal and compensate for their hair loss. And so you're talking about people who might go and take the long hairs and brush them all over across the top of their head, or go in for the hair transplant because it's unacceptable. And people do this to gain a job because a younger look, especially in the United States, means virility, means your manhood, is a male persona. And so there may be a loss of feeling this kind of self-esteem.
The person whom you're trying to reach is currently unavailable. Please leave
so
a message.
that's why creating some kind of a self-affirmation and positive talk is going to help, whether you're a male or a female who has the hair loss. And if it's hereditary, obviously there's not really too much you can do, although Dr. Jaswant on the chat says hereditary hair loss can be helped with homeopathy. Maybe things like lycopodium, which are typical for male hair loss. For the women, it says on slide 18, it's devastating to women, and they try to hide it from everyone, including their doctor. Wow. We really need to speak to the doctor, and we also have to be cautious because medications that are used by the physician for increasing the growth of hair may have multiple effects on the entire body, not simply to the hair, but to the heart and other functioning organs of the body. So this, oops, sorry guys. I tried to refresh my page here. And so, so if you look up, Dr. Bob has put Rogaine on there.
Debbie,
as a, what?
Debbie, are you looking at the page, or are you looking at an actual PowerPoint program?
I'm just talking.
Okay, I want you to click below. If you're on the page, to click on Daily Motion, because just cast and don't refresh, because every time you refresh, it actually goes back to just cast. So and they are going up and down, up and down. They must be having a problem.
Be on Daily Motion?
Daily Motion, when you refresh the page, it refreshes it and goes back to the default. So if so Daily Motion has been up, and anybody else who's having a problem seeing, click on Daily Motion below the video or any of the other ones, but Daily Motion works.
Okay, well, okay, you can hear me again. I went to the Daily Motion now. Okay. When you do change, you're going to get an ad for a few seconds. So with the women with hair loss, this is more serious and more severe because it's not expected. Male pattern baldness is commonplace and seen everywhere, all around the world, in all people. And therefore, it can be more accommodation, people can accept it. But for women, not to have the glossy, shiny, long, beautiful hair as a component of their femininity is really difficult. And they may end up hiding all of this from everyone, and causes a lot of anxiety, helplessness, and feeling less attractive. So what can they do? Obviously, wigs is one way to do it. And otherwise, we have to help these women to understand, to build their self-esteem with loving themselves no matter what, and continue to find out what is going on with the hair loss. And the homeopathic remedies will be helpful for this. We're up to that now, and I hope that Dr. Sharma will be able to sign back in. We're up to slide number 19, showing these little white pills, pellets, sugar tabs that have the energy of and vibrational energy of all kinds of substances dropped on them. in liquid form, and this is how we take the remedies. So slide number 20, he is starting with the A's for apple, A's for arsenicum album. This is for people who are really highly anxious and restless people. The scalp itches intolerably. So a lot of itching goes along with arsenicum album. The circular patches of bare spots, like we showed the illustration earlier, rough, dirty, sensitive, covered with dry scales. So dry, scaly skin. Nightly burning and itching and dandruff. So maybe everybody thinks right away about sulfur for dandruff, but here we have to look at arsenicum album as well. The scalp is very sensitive, even to the point that you cannot brush the hair. There's great prostration and rapid sinking of the vital forces and fainting. So if you've ever had a great shock and know what it is to lose all of your vitality, to feel very weak, this sinking feeling, you can think about burning with arsenicum album. Mentally, they are restless people, but physically too weak to move. So you might see changes in different phases through the arsenicum where they can't even get up or move, even though they are desiring to put things in order and clean, feeling very restless, changing from place to place, cannot get any rest no matter what. And that's really the mental state of the arsenicum album individual. It's more holistic, and the scalp having this itching and patches is just one of the symptoms that are covered. I don't know if anybody has any questions down there, but we will go to the next one. Phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid, everyone knows as a major grief remedy. You know, if people will stand there and pull their hair out, you know, or maybe this is good for the people who are pulling their hair out, but phosphoric acid and any of the acids are for grief, best suited to persons of originally strong constitutions who have become debilitated by loss of vital fluids. So here is another indication for phosphoric acid, not only grief, but that we know phosphorus types love to drink cold ice water, cold juice. They love to drink fluids, and now they have lost their vital fluids. So hair is gray early in life. So when you see a person who is 25 or 30 years old, already their hair is starting to turn gray. Their hair is already starting to fall out very early in life. The hair thins out and turns this gray color. And they also have itching of the scalp. But don't confuse that itching as with the arsenicum album. Here he is indicating, Dr. Sharma has put together this wonderful PowerPoint for us. Bad effects from grief and sorrow, unfortunate love, separation from home, sexual excesses, injuries, and overstudy with great emaciation, sleep, he's saying sleepiness and morning sweat. I don't know whether he means sleepiness or sleeplessness, but it's looking at the perspiration coming in the morning is part of the loss of vital fluids. So when we have loss of vital fluids, it's anything from vomiting, sweating, diarrhea, urination, anything that is loss of your vital fluids. And then we have sadness and uneasiness respecting or about the future. They feel, again, restless, like arsenicum album, but you can see the difference in their appearance, and listless and apathetic. So this grief state shows a person who has little interest in life, even though originally in life they had a very strong, vital constitution, very connected to other people in the world and to their loved ones and to friends. So I guess Dr. Sharma is unable to speak, to get on?
Nope.
Okay. Well, we will continue.
But he is in the chat through his mobile.
Okay. Okay, he can send us his messages through the chat. The next remedy is Nature Muriaticum, and he's giving us really polycrest major remedies that are very powerful and cover many individuals who are needing assistance. So you don't have to look at small remedies for this kind of thing. Large remedies will do just as well. This Nature Muriaticum, we call NaCl salt from the ocean and the sea, has painful, sensitive scalp as well. We learned Arsenicum album is sensitive. It says as if excoriated, contraction and mobility of scalp, tendency of the head to become easily chilled, and sweat on the head, especially in the morning and at the night. So perhaps the pillow would be wet if they're sweating during the night, which is similar, as you know, to Calcarea carbonicum, which has sweating of their head at night. There is scurf on the scalp and great sensitiveness. It seems to be a very major issue, a major indication of the scalp with a greasy, shining face. So when the oily, shiny face itself is well known for Nature Muriaticum, and sensitiveness of the forehead and the borders of the hair. So where the end of the hairline is, you might be seeing some eruptions as well. The individual feels worse in the warm room and better in the open air. Like we know pulsatilla feels better in the open air, to open the window, to go outside. So as well, Nature Muriaticum feels this as well. There are dry eruptions, especially on the margins of the hairy scalp, which I mentioned, and it affects the hair follicles themselves with the alopecia and the dropping of hair. In abundant falling of the hair, as soon as it is touched, and more on the forepart of the head and temple. I imagine that when these people brush their hair, the brush will be full of lots of hair, or seeing it falling into the sink, or maybe people who have to brush their hair, the hairs that are falling on their shoulders of their clothes. In fact, even the whiskers for males and on the genitals for both male and female, especially during childbed. So that's good for both men and women. Slide number 23, and I'm going to check if we have no other comments. Dr. Sharma has said that silicea or silica is the best medicine for every type of alopecia, so it must be one that he uses often. Slide 23 is China officinalis. So we know it's a remedy used for malaria and for loss of fluids as well. Headache as if the hair were torn out or the scalp were contracted. Sensibility to the touch of the exterior of the head and even of the roots of the hair. So if people touch their head and their hair and say it feels sore, you might be thinking of China officinalis, also called cinchona. The sweat on the scalp. So a lot of these remedies you have to differentiate because a lot of them have the perspiration. Ailments from the loss of fluids, again, similar to phosphoric acid, especially hemorrhages. Okay, so this is another kind of loss of vital fluids I did not mention earlier. So blood loss, excessive lactation, so the nursing mother, diarrhea or suppuration, of the malarial origin with marked periodicity. So these things come and go. The return every other day. And the people will be desiring to have sour foods, sour drinks, things like lemons, sour apples, and anything else that you think is sour. And for it might be a toss-up to think China officinalis versus phosphoric acid, because they always also get up in the middle of the night looking for some fruit juice and love fruit. And Arsenicum album also loves fruit. So you need to find a really great homeopath who can differentiate and understand your state of wellness or illness. The next slide, number 24. Okay, lycopodium was mentioned. We often think immediately of lycopodium. The hair becomes gray early, there's baldness, the hair falls out, first on the vertex and later on the temples, after the disease of the abdominal viscera, after parturition. So during different life cycles and stresses in life, we can see this early hair loss. You know, when children cause stress in a family, in the parent's life, when there are things that they worry about and people have trouble digesting their food and they have pain in the hypogastrum, these things we know with gas, lycopodium comes in to save the day. They have violent burning, scalding, itching of the scalp. Again, burning, we think about the Arsenicum album, but now we can think about lycopodium too, especially on getting warm from exercise during the day. So lycopodium people might be kind of competitive and get out there running or doing whatever kind of exercise. The scurf is all over the whole scalp, and the child scratches it raw in the night and it bleeds. Contracted sensation with feeling as if the hair would be pulled up. So they are really scratching until it bleeds. There are other kinds of remedies we know for that particular symptom as well. The hair falls out of the scalp, but increases on other parts of the body. That is news to me, a very good differentiation. So perhaps their hair, maybe they are balding, but they still have a lot of hair on their arms, their legs, their chest, or even their back. So that's fascinating and a good piece of information that maybe not everybody knew about. Dr. Joshua in the chat also says baryta sulf in a 6C, which is a low potency. Sulfur, we know, is for overall good health, and baryta for people who want to be powerful and have a problem with standing up for themselves or having stamina. They have not reached their prime of self-esteem. So they still are wanting in that. Okay, so now we're up to slide number 25. Really, really well-known remedy for problems with the hair, Mezereum. Painful sensitiveness of the scalp and of hair to touch, gnawing, itching in the scalp, itching eruption on the head, and sometimes moist. So we're looking at this moisture, crusting, thick leather-like crust covering the head. So if there's this scratching and this oozing and it comes and dries and becomes a thick crust with white pus that collects here and there, and the hair is glued. So you feel this gluey feeling like Elmer's glue. It's this is Mezereum. On the head, there's great elevated white scabs under which ichor collects in great quantity and begins to be offensive, and even to the point breed vermin. So there would be bugs, scabs that are finding their way into this area, which can become infected. The scabs on the head look chalky and extend to the eyebrows and the nape of the neck. There's burning, biting, itching on the scalp, principally on the vertex, and when scratching, the locality changes, but the itching becomes worse. So, you know, they start to itch one place, it itches in another place, and it's moving around. You think about what kind of discomfort and how this might not look very pleasant. This is followed by very sore boils and humid eruptions, which are worse at night. And so we must take into account this type of modality, what time of day and night it is better or worse, worse at night and when lying down. The pains also go into the bones of the scalp with swelling and caries. So this is a pretty deep remedy, great sensitiveness to contact, to cold, sensitive to cold, to motion, and worse again in the evening. There is numbness of the scalp with drawing pain, and this one has dandruff, which is white and dry. And you would imagine that would happen from the flaking of all of these crusts. It would be very patchy hair, and people would probably, in today's day and age, be using a lot of applications on the head, either putting olive oil or different kinds of oil to rub into the scalp to make it moist, to soften the scalp, using lots of different kinds of shampoos or kinds of dandruff shampoos to try and heal this. So people will take into their own hands every kind of means that they can to clear this kind of debilitating problem with the hair. Obviously, the topic is hair loss, but the scalp is the most important thing to nourish. And so good food, good diet, lots of fluids is important to the scalp. Nourishing high quality oils that we eat internally is going to help. But then we may have to go to homeopathy to help with this. Okay, the next thing, slide number 26, there are many, many other remedies which we can't even get to today because there's so much information related to hair loss, falling hair, healthy follicles, healthy scalp, healthy body. And we have a little list, short list here. Fluoric acid, calcarea carbonicum, natrum sulf, Pilocarpus microphyllus, sepia, the cuttlefish, selenium, which comes from your Brazil nuts. Westbeaten is I think a water which has many, many minerals in it. And then we're going to skip slide 27 and slide 28. I want to thank Dr. Sharma for preparing this incredible presentation, an introduction to hair loss, an introduction to learning about, we're going to skip these next two slides. Actually, the previous slide wouldn't be too bad. It's a meditation. So yes, we need to keep ourselves in a good frame of mind, stress reduction, breathing, deep breathing, getting outside for fresh air, finding time to relax, finding time to be and with loved ones and love. So there is a meditation there for forgiveness, forgiving yourself for these difficulties in life, forgiving others if they look upon you askance or with an evil eye or a bad look, or making a judgment upon who you are and not really knowing who you are, but just bringing all of the good things to yourself, to other people. Michelle, thank you so much for your comments. Thank you for Dr. Jajwad for visiting. He put up on the chat his website. Dr. Bob, Dr. Kubushan, who is always here every single week with us. Dr. Deepak Amnon, Umanjani, I don't know who you are, but you can wave to us, and Barbara, Michelle, and Kathy, everybody who visits our show. We have immense gratitude for you and for being with us. And so I know I'm going a little long. We started a little bit late. We're going to do a couple of announcements at the end. Oh, you're from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Wonderful. So you're in the States. Great. We have down at the bottom of this page a couple of different advertisements. One is for Sufficient C click that, and hopefully you'll go to the page where you'll learn about a vitamin C drink that is totally non-GMO, organic. A wonderful, delicious green tea with other extras that even kids love to drink. There is the Reversing Diabetes World Summit. Even though the live presentation is over, it's still available. We have Sunshine Sciences, which are when it's not the middle of the summer, but winter months and it's gray, having these incredible white light, full spectrum lights in your home. You will see a huge difference in the lighting in your home and how you feel. So you can always visit Dr. Sharma's website at the Orbits Clinic in New Delhi. And now for the upcoming show, I have been in close touch with Dr. Jeremy Sher all this week, preparing an incredible presentation for next Monday. He's going to call in from Tanzania, Africa, talking about AIDS with lots of videos, lots of slides, and his wisdom and incredible vitality. Following that, we have August 11th, Dr. Dinesh talking about case witnessing and pediatric cases. August 18th, the Joshis and the sensation method. August 25th, I will either be here talking about something of passion or taking a vacation. September 1, we are going to have Dr. Edward Kondrot. Oh my goodness. Eye health. He is the one to go to for healing your eyes, no matter what the condition. He is the man. And then we have 2 more weeks in September, and on the 3rd, Mike Andrews in the UK has just published a brand new book on autism. Incredible work that we are going to speak with him about. If you have suggestions for people to be on the show, please let us know. We are welcome to listen to your comments, your feedback, whether you're enjoying the show, anything. I am going to do my best to keep up my strength and keep the show going, just so that we can all connect as friends and teachers and healing the world together through this knowledge. And I will close with, somebody is suggesting Lyme disease. That would be awesome, because I know this is a major problem here in the United States, especially along the East Coast. Umanjani, please send me an email at homeopathyworldcommunity@gmail.com, and I will see about who we can make an arrangement. So I am going to end today with great gratitude to everyone, lots and lots of love. Remember to give your loved ones a hug. Tell them how much you care and love them. Correct any conflicts or use that power of forgiveness. Get together with everyone, and we will be a better humanity. So if you want to say prayers for my healing, that is welcome too. Okay, I'm going to sign off and wishing everybody a beautiful day. Bye-bye.
Tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Health In with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, The Tanya Love Show, Reawaken Your Brilliance with Julie Seibert, and if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by Atomus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals. ThatVidBlasterGuy.com, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.